This AGE Open is brought to you by Fab Foundry. We know that new booster sets can be daunting. At Fab Foundry, we make it easy to get the cards you need your way. We've got booster boxes and complete common rare playsets, so you can crack them or stash them. Either way, we've got you covered at Fab Foundry.
And we're back off the back of an extremely close nail-biter. What a match that was. Looking forward to seeing more flesh and blood that's that close. Because, man, if every game feels like that, we are in for quite an exciting day ahead of us. But we've got that match set up right now. I think we may have something quick to hit. Let me see if our producer has a note on that. We are going to talk about AGE Premium. We are trying to be the front page of competitive flesh and blood. But not just that, we are the PBS, if you will. We are the players-built, players-supported flesh and blood. And what we're trying to form here is, of course, getting you guys awesome content for the low, low price of $10 a month. And, of course, if you attend an AGE, that is basically free because we're giving out discounts to everyone who participates. We do very much appreciate your support, and any support that you give towards us helps us bring more tournaments around the country, expand our grassroots roots, if you will, and just get more flesh and blood in the hands of the players. So come check us out. We've got a lot of really cool free content, as well as the premium subscription if you'd like to support us just a little bit more. And with that, we'll see if... Nope, players are not ready yet. So we get to gab just a little bit more. And I do believe that we've got some players' standings to check out.
Tight race.
Yeah, this is what players are fighting for right here, right now. We see Zachary Wallach at 49, just lost to Clark Moore. So, of course, no points are locked in just yet. Everything could change. But Clark's sitting pretty to potentially climb up the ladder. And Zach's got his work cut out for him if he wants to improve his standings. Kai Sickler, sitting at 11th place right now, is who we are about to fly down and watch playing his beloved Marlynn. I always love watching Marlynn games, and Kai Sickler has proven to be one of the best here at our local tournament. Taking a look here at his player profile. Got a lot of really interesting questions.
I love his reincarnation here. Wild guinea pig, they're fluffy, they squeak, and they travel with friends.
Yeah.
Just what I want to be as well.
Seems like, and you look at the smile on his face, and he does look like a guy that just wants to have a good time and enjoy life. And, of course, his last question, if you qualify for the Players' Championship, which hero will you bring? That's right. He's a truther. He's playing Marlynn through and through.
I think that might be a hint for what we're about to see here in this round.
Yeah. No, looking super forward to that. Of course, his opponent will be playing Tuffnut, and this is a matchup that I am pretty unfamiliar with. Really looking forward to how that plays out because Tuffnut, pretty off-meta. Marlynn, pretty off-meta. So them meeting up here is a nice stroke of luck for us as we get to see quite a unique game unfold.
You even grinded out this matchup at all? This isn't like on your radar? Funny.
Tell
Very
me what
strange.
you know, Mr. Know-It-All.
So I also have not, surprisingly, played a ton of this matchup. I have to imagine this is a really interesting one, actually, because Marlynn kind of follows the tradition of Azalea. She just wants to go really tall with her attacks whenever she can, load them up with a bunch of damage on an overpower to make it really difficult to actually block out. However, on the other side, on Tuffnut's side, toughness tokens really kind of help to put a damper on that. While he might not be able to cover every single attack fully, he's going to sink a lot more into that damage prevention thanks to toughness that a lot of decks necessarily won't let that happen with them. So I think that Tuffnut actually has a lot of tools that traditionally should line up well into what Marlynn wants to do. Funnily enough, also, if Marlynn is trying to rip multiple cards out of your hand, you know what really stops that? When you only have 3 cards in your hand instead of 4 to start off for your turn.
No, I'm really looking forward to seeing that interaction with the 3 intellect hero because, as you mentioned, starting with 3 means you have to rip less to basically make them have no cards in hand. But, of course, we know that Tuffnut's uniquely positioned to play a 0-card hand because you hit that blue off the top and you're swinging rock. Heck, you hit the yellow with a Tunic counter or a Vigor, your swinging rock. So he's very well positioned to block with multiple cards from hand. Overpowered does limit that, though.
Yep, so I expect to see a lot here from the Marlyn needing to do a lot of work with this, but it sounds like we're ready, so let's jump down to the future match area and see Marlyn versus Tuffnut. Kai Sickler here on the left with that Marlyn deck that managed to get that first round win, as well as Adam Seiewitz on his side with Tuffnut, Bumbling Hulkster here.
Yeah, Adam Seiewitz has been a regular in AGE. I'm not up to date on his point count right now, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was potentially a contender if things go very well for him today.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, that bottom of that standing's really tight there. There's only a few points that separate those players, and then we have everybody chasing them as well afterwards. So every single win for these players, basically under around the 10th seed and lower, need to win here to lock up not only just a good seeding, but even lock up their spot, period, in that top 16 for the Players' Championship here.
Absolutely.
As we see equipment loadouts coming out here. Adam Seiewitz, very similar loadout in the equipment suite to what we saw the first round from Reiner. Does have that Scaling Flesh Bag here as Kai Sickler, bit more likely to string together multiple attacks in a turn or have to string together multiple cards. And then that namesake rock here, what Tuffnut was built to work with.
Is Marlyn likely to string together multiple attacks? I suppose with the boots.
Murderous Rabble as well. So,
okay.
So there's more potential here than there is with
Yes.
the Reiner versus Betsy matchup. So there's just
Definitely.
actually like value of running the Scaling Flesh Bag here that you normally wouldn't have otherwise.
Okay, good call on the Murderous Rabble there.
As we see rip off the top here from Tuffnut, Bumbling Hulkster, draws a card and then pitches a random card if it's 6 or more power, gets +3. Again, not cards we see a lot of. Kai here kind of learning along with a lot of us probably what these cards do, as we see does pitch that dig up and has 4 resources here floating. Will let Adam here swing that rock if he so chooses, I believe, as we see Tuffnut tapped here for an activation.
Yeah,
Does
just
hit.
looking for the toughness token here, and still has a card in hand, so we'll need a way to get rid of that before he can swing the rock.
And critically does not have the ability to actually sink into it here with the gauntlets because of how many resources there are there. Can he play this card out? He
Looks like it.
can.
No hero stands alone, so this is, I think, a really fantastic blocking card, a pretty middling attacking card, just a regular 6. So, you know, coming out for 9 thanks to the front pump, and demands some cards, but Kai turn 0, happy to part with them, and pretty much a wash here as things pass over back to Kai.
And Marlyn, so we see a Quiver of Wrestling Leaves activation here from Kai with that Eye of Ophidia. Will opt to here, looks to find an error here and kind of start this turn like up 1 card from what you traditionally would see. Shades of Lexi when we had Voltaire here to kind of let her load that first arrow for the turn and start with 1 in play.
So definitely eating my words here. Kai finding the way to gain the advantage here, going second, and takes 1 damage. I think maybe blocking with 8 instead of 9 there.
Yeah, one thing that we do see out of Marlyn here, we did take 1 extra damage, but unlike Azalea, like her predecessor for these tall arrow attacks, a lot better blocking value.
Yeah.
Azalea traditionally had a lot of her pumps that also block too, so it's kind of a situation of if you could send large attacks, you could kind of mess with her ability to block them out effectively. Kai does cover most of that there, and we do have that harpoon already in his arsenal, as we do see some interesting cards drawn up here, though.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of front pumps here. Kai is going to be sending a very tall harpoon. Whether or not it has an on-hit, I don't think it will.
See Saltwater Swell coming out here from Kai, and I believe we have a Authority of a tie in his hand as well. But Kai thinking here if he wants to have that swell here and potentially
the
hit or miss
Intimidate
that
is,
blue.
is also something to fear.
Yep, and has the Intimidate as well here. As we see, he will swell, pitching that the Authority of Ataya, which is active. And we do hit the blue Portside Exchange off the top here. Kai Sickler suddenly has 5 resources here to work with this turn.
That's a big deal. Still 1 short to be able to put both front pumps in front and activate the harpoon. And now Adam's got to decide how he wants to block this. Is it time already for the Scowling Fleshback?
Well, it looks like from Kai's hand, we could play the Cheating Scoundrel here and still activate our Hammerhead and have the Harpoon here.
Yeah.
So Kai here with that blue hit off the top actually is huge for what his turn can become here. Looks like he elects instead to play Gold Tip.
So my next arrow will get +3. Since I have a yellow face up, I'll get a second
As the
gold.
yellow, like he said, here gets that gold.
I will activate
Great turn here from him to be able to do that. We'll activate the gold baited hook.
12
And now we have our Harpoon coming in here for 12 overpower on hit. Arsenal Disruption not relevant off of this since Adam, very heads up play, did not Arsenal a card last turn.
I found that Tuffnut tends to be the deck that utilizes Arsenal the least, just because he really needs to clear that hand out every turn. It's unlikely to have the card in the first place to be able to Arsenal. So he just doesn't often.
And we see Rockyard Rodeo in hand. Thick Hide Hunter here. And one other card here from Adam. Notably, that Toughness token is here, so we are going to blunt 1 additional point of damage this turn. And we're going to start to see, can that extra added value here from Tuffnut with those Toughness tokens add up as we see quick block here from... This will be for 7 here after Adam discards, thanks to the ability of Thick Hide Hunter.
Yeah, so really nice, efficient blocking. Still has to discard a card, so it's a 2-card 7, but really importantly, sort of skirts the overpower keyword a little bit as
Jaws
the
of
single
Victory.
card
I'll get 1 gold
blocks.
from Hook.
Jaws of Victory, not a card that you see a lot of, but was one of my favorite cards. I opened it in the
That's all I got.
Super Slam World Premiere with Tuffnut. That card is a house in this deck, but you
Yeah.
just never see it, unfortunately, because it is specific to Tuffnut.
Yeah, pretty much just lives here, but it's one of the best go-again sources, maybe outside of the barraging beatdown. Yeah. Activates the Tuffnut, does hit a yellow, so no resources for Rock right now.
Dang, I biffed it. I biffed it.
Doesn't have that tunic counter.
Adam says he biffs it.
Yeah,
Happens to the best of us.
yeah.
Does manage to get that Toughness token, though, off of it, so we'll have a little bit more here to kind of cover Kai's assault this coming turn.
Style points. We'll just
Style points, says Adam as he activates Gauntlets
yeah, we'll
and just has to pass. Does get that arsenal established, not because he wanted it, but because he had no other option.
And look, Tuffnut's a showman, right? He's
Yeah.
in the arena. He's got to show off a little bit. Why not
Exactly.
just activate the Gauntlet just because you can?
You have to. He is revered after all.
And then,
And it looks like Kai's got just the punish. 2 more copies of that Arsenal Hate harpoon in hand.
And really nice here from Kai. He got so much gold in that opening turn that he can kind of just do what he wants. And Marlyn's biggest weakness for people who have played her has really always been her consistency issue, right? Anyone who's played this hero in LL knows just how strong she is when she gets access to Art of War and Cash In and really can hum along. Her big stickler in CC is just her ability to kind of draw through and cycle her deck with those gold tokens. But starting out with 3 in play here means that Kai kind of gets to smooth over some of the traditionally hard points of this deck in CC, as we see
Golden Tipple
coming
down.
out here on the first attack. We will see him then use that Marlyn creation of that Goldfin Harpoon here for the free discard here to draw and then make that gold again.
And he's got 3 of a kind in hand as well, so very resource rich potentially. The question is, are we trying to establish a pump before activating 3 Oak?
And getting a block here from Adam is kind of big because it'll eat this Toughness token here. So potentially getting a 4 block on this 1 attack go again here from Kai. Fantastic here for Kai to see this. Generally, it's really hard to kind of bait out that first attack, but decks that can send these small attacks really strong into Tuffnut because they can rob him of that Toughness token that he so values in those tall attacks.
Kai hitting a lot of blues, not full blues, has the Saltwater Swell red in hand, but has plenty of resources to activate that Harpoon, which he does. And now he's threatening not only the Arsenal, but a gold on hit.
Shallow Water Harpoon coming in again here with that Overpower. Is only coming in for 9 Overpower this time, but has that gold-baited hook activation here. And critically here, if Adam doesn't cover it, will also strip him of that Arsenal card.
Does have the option of shoving all the armor here if he wants to protect it. Don't love it.
No, you really don't want to give the Scallion Fleshbag in a situation like this just because it doesn't do anything. But if you give that other 4 armor here, it means that potentially down the line when you need to cover a really critical hit, you won't be able to. But it looks like here, Adam says, I need to protect this card. Gives the entire equipment suite, including the Scallion Fleshbag, as well as a vigorous smash up here. And we'll see the players clash. Adam here winning off the top here with a Rile Up, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll make a Vigor here, token here. We see a C4 Salvage on Kai's side on top of his deck, so that potentially making him more gold here in the next turn.
Important to note, though, that Tuffnut can clunk up severely if you have a card left in hand that you can't pitch away. And this may just be necessary to keep that in order to play the Arsenal so that he has a playable turn in the at all. I think he was hesitant to use armor, but decided ultimately that it was better than going time walking once again.
Yeah. And Critically here, one of the nice things about these Tuffnut decks, things like Vigorous Smash Up, gives you that information on top of your deck as well. So Adam here now able to fully plan out the rest of his turn. He knows what he has available here for this turn cycle. So potentially if he has a go again attack here, like a Buck Wild in his arsenal, he can then be able to still activate and swing that rock afterwards.
Go to 4 floating.
Does just go ahead and Tuffnut, gain that 4 resources, gain that toughness, utilizing double dipping, if you will, on both a 6 and a blue.
I am going to discard Wind Up the Crowd.
Okay, discards one up the crowd here.
Toughness and
Great card here for him to be able to use to empty that hand out. So he does have that ability to play that rock here. As we have a second toughness here for that next turn, and the vigor going to the next turn as well. We'll see the Gauntlets of Tyrannical Rex activation, and then we have him coming in here for 8 with this rock.
Yeah.
Don't think that damage clause in that last line is super relevant in this matchup.
Right. Not very much prevention in the side of Marlyn.
no reaction.
It's the throw and overboard card is really the only one that they really run, and I can't imagine that they're running them that often in the current meta. Yeah, throw caution to the wind. Excuse me. Thank you, Bryce.
I am questioning just a little bit on the armor block choice. Now that I know that he could empty the hand and discard that for free, I'm questioning a little bit the protection of the arsenal. It may be a card worth protecting, and I don't know what it is, so I can't really fault him for that. But it turns out that he wasn't protecting against the IP penalty of a time walk.
Yeah, and generally whenever you have a situation like that where you want to commit the armor, a lot of time it's because the Marlyn is so gold-starved that gold on hit is really relevant here. But Kai has had gold since the first turn of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're in any danger here of Kai bricking it, as we see his hand here is going to be able to create potentially multiple more this turn cycle. So we'll see here if this actually winds up mattering for Adam down the line when he needs to stop another on hit, as we see Kai does activate that Marlyn, creates a Goldfin Harpoon, and starts the chain going here. We'll pitch a C4 salvage to play a big game trophy shot and draw a card.
Wow, he's got a lot of pumps in this hand. Does he have the blues to support it, though?
Like I said, Azalea 2.0 right here.
Yeah. Could draw through some gold if needed to try to pump up the resources.
We have a Saltwater Swell. We have a King. We have a King Kraken Harpoon as well. So right now, Kai just attempting to figure out how he can string this hand together here. I believe he's currently debating if he wants to use the Marlyn trigger to put an arrow into his arsenal.
He has to think on the discard as well. Big game trophy shot requiring a discard.
Yeah, he always has the Goldfin Harpoon here to get rid of that. So we have an easy discard option here.
Does he have another harpoon, though?
He has the King Kraken Harpoon
Okay.
in the back of his hand, yeah.
That's good. Does he have the resources to play it?
That's
is
our
the next
question here. We do have the Tunic up, so I think we can potentially string this together. He might have to think here, though, whether he needs to play the Saltwater Swell if you'd like to fully play the hand out and fully unlock the power of his hand.
The other potential huge gamble, not recommending it, but it's out there, is to draw off gold and look for the blue.
We'll see here how Kai Sickler wants to approach the rest of this turn, how much risk he wants to take. This is a big part of the Marlyn deck, is kind of understanding your risk assessment level with each of your hands and when you can afford to take those risks to try to play pumps or things like that.
He's going for the Saltwater Swell, looking for the blue, and he does find it. Big deal for this turn.
King Kraken Harpoon?
Huge here. Did load the King Kraken Harpoon as well. Adam here just taking a read of it. This is the one that will target the non-attack action cards, which traditionally this and King Shark Harpoon kind of have antithetical matchups where one is really good and one is really bad with them. Tuffnut, a deck that definitely runs more attacks than non-attack action cards, but it still gives you a lot of information when it hits and does have the chance sometimes to kind of mess these hands up from the opposing hero's side.
Yeah, and the non-attacks that Tuffnut does run are premium. The reason they're in the deck is because they're worth the risk of missing off the top. And here we see Kai now establishing the Cheating Scoundrel has the yellow and the Tunic counter to get just enough to activate Harpoon and send King Kraken. So this is a tall freaking Harpoon.
Yeah, and taking the risk there with that Saltwater Swell really paying off here for Kai Sickle. Lets him fully unlock that hand like we said. We'll come in here for 4 from the Big Game Trophy Shot, 3 from the Cheating Scoundrel, then 6 from the base here, and then another 4 from the Hammerhead Harpoon. So the grand total for this is 17 overpower, with the on-hit of making 2 gold thanks to the gold baited hook and the Big Game Trophy Shot. Sorry, 3 with the Cheating Scoundrel. And then a potential 4th from the King Kraken Harpoon as well.
You got to think Adam's going to block with the non-attack if he has it in hand.
Yeah.
Does have 2 toughness.
Does have the crowd goes wild on the block here.
No reactions from you.
No reactions at all.
Take 12.
Taking 12 off of this hit as Kai strings together a massive turn here. And we're going to see Adam's hand here from this
Culminate
effect.
hook here, so I'll go up to 5.
Sure.
And then
Yeah,
I'll
5
take
gold.
to see if you have a non-attack action. In there.
And when Marlynn hums, there are a few decks that can push out just the sheer amount of damage that she does, as well as having all this extra information from her side. As we see here, a Buck Wild in hand here.
I'll choose that one. Nothing happens. So.
Nothing happens here from Kai as he picks the Buck Wild. We will see Adam here able to crack back a little bit, but down to 17 life here so quickly on his side as Kai has just had everything work out his way so far.
Important to note, he's got the vigor to support playing the Buck Wild off of a yellow, as well as the Tunic to support the follow-up. So pretty good offensive turn here. So I'm expecting Kai to take a little bit of damage on the back end as Adam answers.
Yeah, that unexpected backhand, not really where you want to see it. You'd rather have it on top of the deck for a clash, obviously. But Adam here just kind of desperate to be able to string together a little bit more damage and kind of pull his life totals closer. He has to slow Kai down at this point, because if Kai just keeps doing what he's doing, Adam doesn't have the resources or the ability to really stop these massive swings because his armor suite's gone.
You're good.
Yeah.
You had the vigor, right? So that's why.
He is almost naked and afraid, just has a crumbling bracer and boots left to speak of, and of course the most important piece in his deck, Tunic, very unlikely to see that blocked with until the very final turn of the game.
Yeah, and this is really Marlynn at her scariest, with a stack of gold here and a full grip and then a comfortable life lead.
Yeah, no arsenal right now, so not a completely full grip. So Adam's got a little bit of breathing room as Kai decides to take the 6. Oh, no.
It's messed up. Dude.
What's with the right side of our screen with the brute players?
Yeah.
With bad luck so far today, I tell you what.
Yeah, and just the one resource, and it looks like he can't establish the arsenal as a play either to follow up, so that just ends his turn on the spot. Hate to see it.
Go ahead.
We see a pass back here,
one on
drawing up.
Tunic.
Kai will take his Tunic up, and now we have 5 gold to work with a full grip. We see a Cheating Scoundrel, another big game trophy shot, a Bluefin Harpoon, and a Codex of Frailty
Yeah.
here. So
Looks
Kai
good.
17.
has the ability here, if he would like to be able to stack up a lot of damage here with that big game trophy shot and the Cheating Scoundrel, and then Codex back his most effective Harpoon here.
Does hit a blue off the top, critical for making this turn work. Needed the extra resource to activate.
Yellow, and then this blue. so
Harpoon.
I'll have 2 floating.
Really heads up play here from Kai, making sure that he overpitches this ahead of time so
Yeah.
his Codex will be able to get back this arrow. Doesn't have the resources here for the big game trophy shot and elects not to go digging a little bit too much with the gold. You could effectively try to line that line up, but you'd have to hit 2 more blues at the top. So he says, going to take the really, really safe line here, save my gold, and develop my board here with this Ponder and Frailty. And we'll swing the King Kraken Harpoon out again here, this time coming in for 13 overpowered.
Why do you
Good
think he
lord.
chose this over
12,
the
excuse me.
shallow water shark harpoon? Targeting the arsenal, guaranteed, of course, to, if it connects, destroy the arsenal, get the extra gold. Of course, it's worth 1 less damage.
We're going to clash.
Do you like that choice here?
I think I would have preferred the shallow water shark harpoon just because Adam has been so insistent on protecting his arsenal here. But Kai might have a different line in play. He might just really want that 1 extra damage given the life lead that he has here.
Yeah.
He also knows that he's getting the arsenal back this turn thanks to the Codex of Frailty, or the Codex of Frailty here,
Yeah.
excuse me. So has that covered and doesn't really need to push too much there. He's looking at, can I push the maximum damage here to close this out quickly?
I really like decision points like this and watching the really seasoned players make them. Kai Sickler, of course, one of the best Marlynn players we have in the circuit. But it's a really interesting choice. Like you said, we would be giving up 1 point of damage, but of course we gain the extra gold and we destroy the arsenal. And looks like Kai says, yeah, give me the 1 damage.
I will say there are tough nut hands that could cover a 12 between his amount of blocks, defensive reactions, and having the toughness token. So Kai might have just said, I want to be safe with this. I want to make sure I hit, redevelop that gold. I'm in a position where I'm so far ahead that all I have to do is not prick these next couple of hands. And this is the safest line that I can take.
Yeah, and he took Adam all the way down to 8. Does have a 3-card hand, including the arsenal, to work with here. See if he has that go again source and maybe a little bit more fortune off the top of his deck. Very similar to last turn. Yellow Buckwild hits the chain.
Coming in for 6 go again here. And I'm expecting to see Kai have minimal blocks here. I will say one thing here. This is the first hand that we've seen from Kai so far that doesn't have a bunch of pumps with a harpoon. This is Kai having a hand that actually, as of right now, does not convert particularly well. So he does have that stack of gold, but potentially we could see the first time where Kai actually wants to block with some cards, or kind of has to worry about what the top of his deck is like here to be able to draw through.
Yeah, and it looks like you made that read correctly. Does put down a blocking card, decides to slow down just a little bit and keep his life total high because he doesn't have the conversion that he would otherwise need. Adam, of course, gains that toughness as he flips the Buckwild off the top. A lot of Buckwild yellows showing up right now, and the Frailty brings that rock down to 6, but still comes in for a pretty efficient 3-card 12.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Adam needs to do here. He needs to string together some turns of damage. This is really similar to last game, but from the opposite side where we saw Zachary with Betsy kind of be from a lower life total. He has to string together some turns where he pressures Kai, pushes damage, and then is able to answer the response on the crackback here. So this is Adam kind of doing what he has to do here. He's sending a relatively powerful turn with a good amount of damage, dropping Kai down, and now, does Kai have the answer on his side is the critical question here. Can he make a hand that can either kill Adam here or strip Adam's hand and kind of stop him from doing anything on the response next turn as well?
Yeah, it does have a decent amount of resources in the hand. Didn't catch the Arsenal, did you?
I didn't. It was off the ponder. I think he just drew and put it there right away. Unfortunately, does not like his casters enough to just show it to us.
So we're going fishing, trying to find some better options off the top. Finds another blue, I believe it was.
Catch of the day. Speaking
Yes.
of go fish.
He fishes and he catches. Now, it's a blue and it's a pump, so it could kind of help him string together more stuff. Does opt to keep it in hand while he digs once again. This time, Redfin Harp. No, I'm sorry. That's the new blue that can banish cards and allow you to play them.
Which was in our arsenal as well.
Yes, yes.
So we're able to activate our harpoon here. Gets that buff.
And then I will
Red Lure Harpoon. Thank you to our producer. And I actually have never seen Sile Sarong activated on camera for its Go Again use. So it's really cool to see here. We have 8 Overpower and Go Again with 2 floating. Is there a way? I guess you could draw a card and reload that way using gold.
He has the option for that. He also can activate Marlynn, create the harpoon, draw a card off the gold, and reload it that way. So he does have the option here to still send a harpoon afterwards.
Yeah.
And with Adam this low, it effectively lets him be able to pressure those last few points of life here if he so chooses to.
And wait, hold on, because if he gets an attack, he can just send that
Yep,
off
that
the
as well.
back of. Wow, okay, this is coming together. This is a really cool play. I haven't seen this line yet from Marlynn.
And Red Lure really is another one of those cards that kind of adds to Marlynn's ability
Yeah.
to just kind of extend these turns in ways that she didn't have access to when she first came out in High Seas. As we see a tough smash up here, we'll clash, we'll reveal another tough smash up on top for Adam and generate that toughness token, but currently only blocking 4 of this 8.
Going all the way down to 4, still has 3 block in the armor suite. But he is getting dangerously low, and Kai gets to choose a card from Graveyard, and he's going for a 2 for 6. Great choice.
for 6.
You don't get cheered though. Nice.
Jaws of Victory. And I believe this one says that if you have less life, the crowd cheers you. He does not, so this will not have Go Again, but he doesn't need it. He just wants to have a nice, efficient 8 into 6, and man, these are some questions that are difficult for Adam to answer. He does have the block to survive here, but he is starting to get really low on life.
And again, like we saw from Betsy last round, Overpower really strong on closing this game out against these brutes because they really don't have a lot of ways to dodge it. They don't have the non-action cards to get around that Overpower and be able to stonewall those attacks. So Adam here, once again, dropping down here. We'll discard,
2 toughness.
line up the crowd here, makes the toughness and the vigor token for next turn. So we'll have a decently sized block coming in next turn, potentially also sending some damage back with this rock, but down to 2 already.
Yeah, that's scary. 6 damage was a lot of damage, and he only had the 1 card to block with because Wind Up the Crowd's got a 0 in the bottom right corner, so could not, even if he wanted to, block with that one. Instead opts to cash it in for that toughness and vigor. Now 1 floating as he goes into his turn and activates Tuffnut, hits the yellow, so thankfully, finally, I should say, has a little bit of a reprieve, gets another Tuffnut, really, really important if he wants to survive next turn, and is able to send that rock on top of it, coming in for 7. Kai still not threatened at all.
And Kai here has that Sunken Treasure, has the gold-baited hook here for the block. Going to make another gold here from this Sunken Treasure block. And it's just been an embarrassment of riches for Kai this entire game here. He's never dropped below, what, 2 gold this entire game?
Yeah. And as we watch him enter the cusp of victory, I want to point out his placement, I believe currently 11th in the Players' Championship standings. So going up 2-0 is a huge deal for him for his hopes of getting good seeding in the Players' Championship.
And we'll see here if he's able to string together another turn. He does have enough gold here where he should be able to cycle through his hand if he needs to. But right now his hand doesn't really have a huge amount that it's doing. It has the 3 of a kind, it has the portside exchange, but they need to turn into cards here, right? Yeah. If it's just the harpoon activation and a harpoon, Adam might be able to cover this thanks to those 3 toughness tokens.
Sorry, not 2 floating. I had 1 floating. Now I'll have
He is hoping to hit some pumps. Looks like he's digging with gold first. Oh, maybe a harpoon.
Yeah, so we have the harpoon there.
Oh, does he have one in Arsenal?
none floating. One
I think he kept one last turn.
I think
so
he did as well.
Really is probably looking for the pumps.
Still no pumps. And you can always get that pump off the harpoon here to make it a 10 overpower.
Yeah.
The problem, again, is that since Adam has those toughness tokens, he might be able to cover this out entirely or cover most of it and not actually die here. So Kai really wanted to see one of those +4s, like a goal at the tip, big game trophy shot, something like that here to really be able to close the door in this game.
Still has plenty of blues to go digging if he wants to continue the gamble.
And see our final gold go here. And this is the power, again, of Marlynn getting to have a gold stack. She's dug through 4 cards this turn, thanks to those 3 gold draws plus a portside exchange here.
Yeah, gets another look thanks to that card. Golden Tipple is not a front pump, but playable and a way to continue to dig and potentially make more gold.
Pop another gold.
Pops the gold with it instead.
Get out of here.
Draw 1.
Doesn't want to push that one. Instead, we see
More
another harpoon.
harpoons. Yeah, he's really just looking for a way to end it right here and right now. Isn't quite able to find it. Has touched 6 cards so far. Maybe that was one too many, but it's been a lot.
We go again, Kai says.
Yeah, more gold, more looks.
Banish a flip a yellow, make a gold. Are we sacking this gold immediately?
Gain a gold again.
Probably.
Nothing happening with all.
I mean, he has the 3 of a kind, but he doesn't want to play it until he finds the pumps, decides now's the time to go. He's done searching for them, and of course, there they are. 2 cards that are now unplayable from hand. Codex of Frailty and Gold the Tip will have to either become resource cards or arsenal cards.
Activate Hammerhead.
So we see Hammerhead activated here, getting that +4. It looks like we will just only be at the end of this seeing, what, 9 extra cards?
Only
7 extra
9.
cards for the turn?
I didn't keep track, but let's call it 15 just
Sure.
to be safe.
You know what? 20.
20.
I'll give you a
He's-
20.
He's seen all of his deck, 60 cards straight up. Yeah, no, it's been a lot.
And we will just see a 10 come across here with Overpower, and we'll see here if Adam is able to block this out and not die, as it is a King Shark Harpoon. Critically here, again, Adam's deck, ton of attacks, so this could potentially also rip a card, even if Adam is able to block 9 of it and not die here.
Yeah, this is still very likely to kill. Adam needs not just a 3 block, but he needs to have one of his infamous 6 blocks +3, maybe even plus some armor. He is not head in hands just yet, so may have found what he needs to survive this turn.
Yeah, something like a Thick Hide Hunter here, one of the things that naturally blocks for 6,
Yeah.
covers that with 1 equipment block as well, thanks to those 3 toughness tokens, and kind of lets him stay in this game and maybe send something back even here.
That arsenal has been filled the entire game
Up
as
and we see
well.
No Hero Stands Alone here coming out from Adam, and this
Yep.
is critically what he needed to see here. Lets him kind of get one of those blocks. It is not
He
a
needs
block
to win this
6.
clash, though. This is really important for him.
No, and he whiffs!
And that's probably the game, because that does not pump up the block value, and all he's doing is blocking for 3 here. And that's it, fist bump. Adam really having a rough time off the top of his deck that game multiple times, where he just needed 1 card that was probably a 70+% chance of hitting and did not find it. And that's it. Kai Sickler feeling pretty good. Going 2-0 into the rest of the day, as the Players' Championship is coming up right around the corner, and those players' championship points are more meaningful today than ever before.
I just want to shout out Kai there really quickly.
Oh,
Kai,
yes.
Kai through that game kind of showed us what somebody who's mastered Marlyn does with this deck.
Absolutely.
From the very first turn of this game, on his opponent's turn, got to start to cycle through his deck, stack that gold up, and really just show what happens when Marlyn has that full gold stack. So great play there from Kai's side of things, and we'll see what they do through the rest of this game.
Really measured play, really awesome to see that type of stuff on camera. And we've got a little bit of a meta breakdown to bring to you, because this is pieced together and ready to work through. We've got 33 players showing up today, and 5 of them are playing Acilio. What else are you seeing here that stands out to you?
So the more things change, the more things stay the same. The top of our metagame here are heroes that we've been seeing here for months on end. We've seen Acilio as the top of the meta since the start of the year. Arachne Marionette not that far behind. We've seen Jacob Clements again, kind of just showing the excellence of this hero. 3 copies of Ziggy Starlight following that up. Ziggy with a lot of success, I'd say, through their initial opening season with Omens. Finishing winning 3 Nats overall, placing really well at the Calling in Las Vegas. After that, we have old mainstays with Syndra, Drakaya of Retribution, and Gravy Bones at 2 copies each. Then our first of the new warriors, Hala here, Blade Saint of the Vow. We'll see here if she's able to kind of string these together and kind of push into those upper echelons of our later rounds. And then we have a whole bunch of one-ofs, Michael.
Yeah, the one-ofs are always what get me the most excited. In the first place my eye is drawn is actually to that Pleiades Superstar, a deck that was touted for a while as one of the most fierce fatigue packages. I do not know what our player is playing, if it's fatigue or if it's aggressive or somewhere in between, but I do know that it is being played by one of our Guardian stands, the owner of the Guardian Discord, Brian Gutierrez, a true Guardian truther through and through. So seeing him on that deck is very, very exciting. But man, there's a lot of really cool one-ofs in the room today. We've got a Teklevossen, we've got Ira, we've got Puffin. I love to see Puffin. And Betsy, I was expecting maybe to see a little bit more of her, but she seems to have fallen off a little bit after the initial hype.
Yeah, and also no Olympia's here.
Yeah.
We don't have our one Dorinthia, which I'm assuming is Richard, our usual mainstay.
He's going to be on Hala today.
He's on Hala, okay, so we have one other Dory here today. But we do see that smattering of warriors, maybe not as much as we had hoped after Mastery Pack Warrior. My shout-out again, that Ira. Love to hear her, glad to see her back. We have one of with the Aurora Legacy of Tempest. We'll see if that can kind of push through. Did have some success at Pro Tour Las Vegas with that deck. Dash IO and Phi, 2 other really kind of mainstay aggro decks that have kind of fluctuated with where they've been in the meta overall, but are really capable of just kind of crushing through all of these mid-rangey, dirtily decks here that we potentially see with all of these one-ofs.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a really exciting meta to explore and a whole host of games to watch it all unfold coming up later. But first, we want to give a huge shout out and thank you to our sponsor, Fab Foundry. They hosted the Calling, or they are hosting the Calling Kansas City, as well as the 100th Calling in Atlanta in October. And this one has sold out so quickly. It has been absolutely one of the biggest events, I would say, at the Calling level for players. And you can go check out their website at www.fabfoundry.co and get yourself a discount if you type /discount/AGELA10 to get 10% off of your singles orders. You can also head on down to their website using that QR code at the top. And of course, that code will last until Tuesday. So make sure you head on over this weekend or Monday or Tuesday to get your discount before it goes away.
I know I'm certainly going to look forward to it. I might even dip my toe into the Warrior pool for the first time ever. Hala, all these other new heroes that they have plenty of singles for. Maybe even one of those Marvels that they have out of that set. So
yeah, looking forward to all that stuff. And I will personally be heading on over there to get my singles because I need them with all the new cards coming out because I'm really excited to build some of these new decks. Olympia notwithstanding. But we're going to take a quick break and then come at you with an interview with our winner, Kai Sickler. So don't go anywhere. We've got Marlyn coming up after this.
Welcome back. I'm here with our winner for the round, Kai. Kai, big poons.
Big poons.
Big damage.
That's all we need.
Yeah, all we need with it. So how'd you feel about that game into Tuffnut? We were talking going into that round that it's kind of an interesting matchup, right? Tuffnut seems like he should line up pretty well into Marlyn with all those toughness tokens. Has a lot of ability here to kind of cover some of those breakpoints. How'd you feel going into that matchup overall as the Marlyn?
I feel pretty good about it. Tuffnut, his ideal game plan is like block with 2 to 3 cards, pitch off the top, swing rock, right? So being able to limit him to only blocking with 1 card in every hand is a big part of getting those on hits consistently and stopping him from using his hand defensively, because he's not going to be able to convert every 2 or even like arsenal and 2 card hand into full value without, you know, getting the go again pieces. So just keeping the cards in his hand and pushing through the damage makes, I think, the matchup's pretty Marlyn favored for sure.
Yeah.
The toughness the toughness tokens definitely help a little bit, but it doesn't cover, you know. We saw like 16, 17 in that game. It's not enough.
We really saw you stringing together some of those like turns that Marlyn, like maybe an LL can do consistently, but in CC has kind of struggled with over the year plus that we've had her, where it's like a lot of times you can kind of stumble through it. You don't have the pumps that you need. You don't have the harpoons you need. But you kind of, that game just from the start had everything you needed, right? You had like, I think 3 gold in the first turn and then just was sending 12, 16, 17, like every single turn with it. How did you feel like from that? Like with the new cards Marlyn's had recently, because Red Lure Harpoon is new. Yeah. Shallow Water Harpoon was not recent, but like a more recent addition.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So how have you felt with how she's kind of evolved since we first got her in High Seas?
She feels great now. I mean, 2 extra harpoons to her arsenal just makes it so you don't brick as much. You know, like not having an arrow is just the worst feeling. And honestly, 6 extra arrows in your deck was enough to make her feel way more consistent. I will say the only turn I did almost stumble was like when I had the saltwater swell with 2 reds, or I think it was 3 reds in hand, and I I had 1 blue. I drew a card to a gold, and then it was a yellow. So I'm like, oh, good thing I didn't play the swell. I'm like, you know what, whatever. I'll resolve the swell anyways. And then it hit a blue, and that turn really was pieced together with saltwater swell, which has been another new inclusion in the deck recently, and I feel like, honestly, in that game, my top of deck just functioned a little more nicely than his. He pitched off the top, hit a red, passed. Like, that's just brutal. When you need a yellow or a blue, because he had Tunic to bail him out.
Yep.
And then, even the end of the game, he needed to win that clash too. I hit a 0. He hits a 0. Like, what are you going to do? And it's just situations like that where Tuffnut can't run the defense reactions because he needs the 6 powers to hit off the top of his deck, which are usually the biggest ways that other decks are able to block out the overpower from Marlyn. So him not having access to those tools, I think that makes the matchup very favorable.
Yeah. Another thing that we saw there that Michael commented on was that traditionally you don't see much of the Sea Sarong activations throughout the game. We got to see that with the Red Lure Harpoon, really letting you kind of like pressure him there in a really cool way of like you got the hit and then also swing his Jaws of Victory at him afterwards too. So that must be really nice that like finally like your boots don't just block 2 instead.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the best Arsenal target, and I was like, do I really want this in Arsenal? I'm already kind of beating him, and I'm like, you know what? I drew up my next hand, and he threw his 8 or whatever, and I'm like, I could just pitch 2 blues, come in for 8, but let's dig through some gold and see if we can get 6 more damage out of this. I love it when that card resolves, honestly. It is so fun to look through the opponent's graveyard and be like, what can I play from here?
Like, kind of like new almost, where it's just like they have that stack and you're like, ooh, what do I get to beat you with now?
It's like a shop, you know, and I have the money to spend. I have the 6 stack of gold. It's literally going to a store, you know. But just pitching 2 extra blues, finding 2 extra blues just for two extra resources to send the extra 6 damage. It's fun. It's fun when that card resolves, for sure.
And we really saw a lot of this game, like kind of where that situation happens where Marlyn gets bailed out by having that gold stack near the end when you had just that string of just draw, looking for those final pumps to end that game too. Which I feel like she's gotten a lot more consistent with over time as it's gone on. Kind of like these builds have gotten a bit more refined. Gold to tip back in the deck. Big game trophy shot. All these extra gold generators with Cheating Scoundrel.
Yeah.
So it feels like she's kind of like gotten some of that consistency back that necessarily was gone when she didn't get to play Art of War or a Cash-In.
Yeah.
I think.
I haven't looked too much into Marlyn in LL or Golden Age. I hear she's pretty good though. And I remember the last LL tournament, there was someone who made like top 8 or whatever on Dash and CC and Marlyn in LL, which was actually pretty sick. I didn't really look into it too much because it's not my format.
The first time that you do it, the first time you go Art of War and you like get rid of one of your Goldfin Harpoons, you're like, oh, I get how they designed this hero. Like, I understand like the core concept when they made this hero, what they were looking for. It's kind of a drug, I'm not going to lie. Like,
I know.
Anyone going to Calling Atlanta for the LL side event should definitely look at this deck. It's one of the most fun things you can do because you're just like every turn you're like, my hand is actually 12 cards.
Yeah.
I'm just going to draw through and just see whatever I want. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like basically Art of War is just like 3 more copies of 3 of a kind, right? Except you're not linked. You're not
And you
locked to
cash in.
Arsenal. yeah,
You
yeah.
cash in with it. You have
yeah,
Art
yeah.
of War. It's like, oh, I can do anything that I want with this game. It's great. You have 9 golden tipples. Like, it's...
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that card too.
So with this, you're now 2-0 in the day. You are still, I believe, you're 11th going into today in the Players' Championship race.
Yeah.
How do you feel the rest of the day going, and then also like going forward to the championship if you do make it in? We think that you're pretty well set up here with where you're rated going into the day that you should make it. What are your thoughts just going into the championship, how the season has gone so far for you, and what you're looking forward to in that top round of 16?
Yeah, sure. So I started like this year. This is my first year ever doing AGE and even like competing at a higher level than just local armories. And the Marlynn cards have definitely supported the journey. It makes me feel like I have a deck that can somewhat compete. It definitely still misses sometimes, but it's strong when it does its thing. And after basically it all just started when I just won the one in April, the AGE in April, when it was like all locals at the top tables, people that I knew. It was like friends, like super low stress for me. And I was able to take that one down, and that one kind of just like made me think, I'm like, maybe I could actually make it to the player championship.
Yeah.
Like a win will get you there. So
35 points, really good start.
Yeah,
for that.
it is. I had a top 16 before that, but I didn't even honestly know I had that because I wasn't looking at the leaderboards until I had won one. I wasn't. I'm just here to have a good time and start competing at a higher level.
Yeah.
And going into today, I have friends who are saying, like, dude, you're chilling, like you're locked. But everyone right below me is like the next 8 people I think are like 12 or 10 points.
Yep.
So it's like if I crash out today, it could very well be over.
And we can see here just what the standings were going into the day. You again at 52 points, so it is 10 points down to 16. But like you said, with the amount of points you get for a top 8 or a win or something like that, we could really see a lot of shifts here in that lower half of it.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel with the field of what we see with the players who are locked already? We know that some of them are going to be like mainstays, maybe on like decks like Dorinthia, Hala, some of the players here that have kind of been staples like yourself with a specific hero or heroes. How do you feel with that format since you are due to kind of like a round robin bracket almost?
I see, like the people who are locked. Oh,
yeah,
I see,
how do
I
you
see.
feel with the field of players that you could potentially see with that, with Marlynn going into this next event?
I mean, actually, I have a question first. Is the player championship after the release of Usurp?
Yes. So
Okay.
we will have all the new cards with it. Potentially also new Marlynn support according to James White. So you might get
That's
some
what I'm
extra
waiting
cards
for.
there.
That's what I'm waiting
Yeah.
for. Yeah, James White said we had a Marlynn banger expansion slot coming, so I'm excited for that. But I think the current field of all the top players, the matchups I'm like hero-wise, the matchups I'm most afraid of, I would say are obviously the Dorinthia. I'm feel okay into Hala with the Mastery Pack Warrior upgrades even after. Kasai's kind of scary, but she's LLing soon, hopefully
Yeah.
by the player championship.
We live in fear of Colin Erickson in this room.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. That man strikes fear into everyone's hearts. But starting off 2-0 today makes me feel a little more secure that I'm even going to be able to make it there.
Yeah.
3-0, I think I will be like chilling.
Close?
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll be really
like
close
for
then.
sure. It'll be hard to not make 16 at top 16, I think, if I start off 3-0. But starting off the day with some great crazy gem luck, I had Teklo into Tuffnut, which are 2 very, very good matchups for me.
Turns out those equipment pieces say action on them, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, that seems
They
like a
do.
problem for
They do.
Tekla Vossen.
So hopefully, honestly, if I get to the player championship too, it's just gonna be cool. I'm just there to experience it. I feel like that's the vibe you have to kind of go in with if you're playing a hero like Marlynn.
Yeah.
Here to throw some harpoons, pop some gold, get some big pumps down, and try to disrupt the opponents a little bit. Have a good time while I'm there.
Yeah, now we do have your player profile card here. I kind of vibed with you with the first question that you'd prefer to be reincarnated as a wild guinea pig. I liked your answer with that. I'm not going to lie. The idea of
Yeah.
being fluffy and squeaky and just,
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Have you ever seen like flocks of guinea pigs in the wild? It's just so funny. They're just like such chillers. I had a guinea pig when I was little too, and she was very talkative.
The hair just blowing in the breeze.
Yeah,
as it stands there and
exactly.
she goes, meep.
Exactly.
And now your piece of advice for people that you give out but never follow is reflecting and taking notes in your games to learn more. Now,
Yeah.
do you think after today that you're going to take more notes on these games, or is it kind of just your note is the top of my deck is going to be sick every day?
Yeah, I'm a very vibes-based player, to be honest. I've gone to 1 or 2 testing sessions with friends, and I feel like I'm not really contributing too much because I'm just the wild card Marlyn there, you know. But I'm getting good reps into them.
Yeah.
So and still, even when I go to those, I'm kind of just there to have a good time. So I know it's a good habit to get into is to like take notes on your game while they're happening, especially at practice sessions, and review. It's really cool to be on stream too because you get to review the game, see what you could have done better and stuff like that. So I'll try to get into it a little more, but right now still not.
And now we see your unhinged side character. You said Rowley because he's such a chill guy. Now, I need an explanation here of how he's both chill and unhinged. Because this was after my time period. I'm an old millennial. So this was a little bit coming after my age. Explain how he's both chill and unhinged.
Well, Rowley was like the funny side character in Diary of a Wimpy Kid who would always low key get bullied because he was really into child stuff. I remember he was babied by his mom and stuff. But the main character was friends with him still, and he was just funny. He's chill. I would say he's unhinged though because the stuff that he's into wasn't for him. You know what I mean? He was into I think if I remember I don't know, no hate at all, but it was made fun of that he was really into toys, children's toys, you know, as a high schooler and stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. That was my unhinged part. He was chill though.
We've seen some other answers from other people that are maybe a bit more towards the psychotic unhinged, but I can appreciate your interpretation of unhinged of just this is a high schooler that just has different interests. We can live with that. That's better.
Yeah. He's unhinged, but that would totally be me too, you know?
Okay,
That's
now
why.
final shout outs, final thanks. Anyone that you want to thank here, shout out, anything that you really would like to say while on stream?
Big time. Shout out to Noah Timney. He's also in the top 16 here, one of my best friends. Drove up with him here today. Shout out to Valerio. He's also in the room today. He has had kind of a rough season, but he's always here at the event still supporting. It's always good to have him around. Shout out to the Pitch It To Me crew. They got me into the game. Pitch It To Me podcast and local game store Tilted Gaming and Cerritos. That's all.
Sick.
Pretty much all I got.
All right, well, best of luck for the rest of the day here. We will be back very soon with our round 3. Don't go anywhere, folks.